Hello everybody, my name's Ryan and I'm a driving instructor, and today, aircon! So, aircon, what's all that about? Well, before we go any further, like, comment and subscribe. Subscribing is free, so aircon. Why would I make a video on it? Oh, that's right, everybody's got aircon. Well, pretty much everybody that's got a fairly recent car in the last 10 years or so has got aircon. Now my car, the aircon, comes on as default when I switch the car on. And actually, I've not been able to change that status. I've not been able to change it where it's off when I switch the car on. So why have everybody got aircon and should we use it? Well, actually, yes, we should use aircon. It makes you feel relaxed and nice and comfortable, and you want to be comfortable sat in the car, and you want to feel at ease. So as you're sat and comfortable in the car, then anybody who's causing you a problem, anybody who's cutting you up, or something goes past, you're not happy with it, anybody driving right behind you, then you want to feel nice and relaxed. You want to feel comfortable, nice seating position, nice posture, eyes about a third to halfway down the windscreen. Don't want to be looking through that. You want to be relaxed and you want that aircon on. But then the argument is, well, should I put it on? Doesn't it cost me money? The energy's got to come from somewhere. And you're right, it does. The energy comes from your engine. So you burn fuel in your internal combustion engine, which then feeds an auxiliary belt, which feeds things like your alternator, your power steering pump, and your aircon, plus other things. Alternator provides power for the car. Power assisted steering, well, you've got to have that on all the time. But it's impossible not to create energy by the engine. So it reduces your miles per gallon or your kilometers per litre. But the energy's got to come from somewhere. So if we burn fuel, then surely my MPG goes up. Yeah, it will. Anywhere between 2 and 30% according to sources on the internet. And I've looked in a lot of things on the internet. Air conditioning systems started off in the late 40s on cars and 50s, and they were the size of a house. Well, not literally, but you get that they were big. Now they're really tiny little pump units connected to different bits and pieces underneath your engine bay. I'm not going into technical details, but basically they've got to use energy. Now for me, I've never really noticed it. If I'm doing less than 30 miles an hour in a normal area, standard speed limit, then actually if I switch it off and open the windows, it's about the same MPG-ish. I probably get a range on a full tank. Instead of getting 390 with the aircon, I probably get about 410. It's only 20 miles difference. It's very, very little. Very, very little at all. Some cars, yeah, it's going to be a lot more. It's going to be 20-30% fuel consumption. But on most modern cars, last 10 years, most modern cars, because of emissions, they have to be super efficient. Except, if you're going highway speeds, 50 or above, then leaving your windows open in the hot weather with no aircon on will actually increase your MPG. Because aerodynamically, you're burning more fuel to go faster because of the turbulence into the car. And it might sound a little bit stupid that, always get some fresh air and stuff like that. Yeah, you should, but actually, you know what, if you're tired, stop at the services. If you've got your windows open and you're driving along without your aircon on, it can actually thermodynamically be different. And there's cases where people have found that the MPG actually goes up as the air hooks into the back of the car, acting like a giant sail at 50, plus all that buffering, plus all the noise. It's just easier. Switch your aircon on, wind your windows up. I'm willing to bet in most cases, most people won't notice the difference in internal combustion engines, because it makes a difference in an electric car. Got a nice lovely Tesla next to us. You know my hatred for electric cars. Actually, I don't hate them. I just think at the wrong time and the wrong era, and they're being pushed as an agenda and a political thing at that. That, yeah, they're probably all right on a day-to-day basis. If you were driving 100 miles a week or 150 miles, charging once a week, nobody cares. If you're using them big style every day, like they do with the buses, then that becomes a problem because you've got to charge them every night. And then charging a car every single night outside your house when you haven't got access to power is incredibly difficult. So that's my train of thought on it. I know other people have got train of thought on EVs, but here's the thing. Exactly the same thing applies to EVs about aircon. The only difference is where an internal combustion engine is powering a auxiliary or serpentine belt around its power assisted steering and its alternator and its air conditioning pump. It's different on an electric car because the batteries are feeding a big motor. The batteries then feed the 12-volt system because it has two different systems. It also feeds an electric motor for your air conditioning. So rather than it being generated off the engine, it's generated through the batteries. So if you put the heating or the aircon on, you're using more battery power, and in some cases, some people have found a loss on range of up to 30%. So in the warm weather, and it's really hot, thermally, the batteries can't keep up because they've got to be cooled. They have the cooling system on an EV to keep the batteries cool. And what happens is those batteries can heat up and they can get really hot when they're charging, and they get really hot when they're being used, a bit like your phone. If you use your phone, it's really hot. Then what happens is if it's running the aircon, they get even hotter. And aircon in a car on an EV can use a lot of energy. Same as the heaters though, that can be exactly the same thing. When we get to highway speeds, then the car is literally designed to be the sleekest thing, to get the most efficiency out of the car. And that's especially true with Teslas. So if it's true with Teslas, then why can't we put well, you can. It's just going to cost you range, and it can cost you quite a little bit more range than the equivalent internal combustion engine car. And I know you're burning fuel, and there's somebody making a thing about it, saying that actually if I had a petrol car over the equivalent EV and I went and used superchargers, actually it cost me more than the petrol car. Yes, CO2 wise it's a lot more using a petrol car, but it's semantics really at the end of the day. So the conclusion is use your aircon. Here's another thing though, my aircon's on the default. Why is that? Well, actually in the winter it puts a curtain of cold air across the windscreen. Putting a curtain of cold air across the windscreen makes it demist quicker and makes it safer. So my aircon is actually on all the time because it's on as default. Actually, I have to physically switch it off and turn auto to off because it's very difficult to turn off. It's a bit like the safety systems about lane assist. Press this, and auto stop start, and press that, and press the other. So there's a lot of stuff inside your car, including air conditioning, that's now become effectively a safety system. But I would do your own studies, do your own working out. But me, personally, hot weather, it's been hot for a couple of weeks now, it's going to be hot for another couple of weeks, then probably all the way through to August and into September. You know it's going to get hotter in September when the kids go back. So why not use your aircon for a little bit and let's feel relaxed in that heavy traffic. If you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, do a little bit of research yourself if you want to. I've kind of looked at it, it's all on Wikipedia. Pretty much after that it was like the RAC website giving us a figure between 2 and 20%. In my own experience, I'm getting about 3 to 4% more fuel usage with it on and off, and I've tried it and actually I feel miles more comfortable with it on. So if I don't see you before, I'll see you again another time. Bye for now.